Chilly here with Sirius Talis Moon, and it just turned Saturn hour. This is continuation of a reading, and it is about somebody being gifted child, and I want to explain that because I don't think that certain children are more gifted than others. Okay, it's just, but this is this child. Yes, it is gifted, but it's not only child is gifted. Yet it is a child that goes on the thread of what certain societies criticize or consider a gifted child. And I do believe all children are gifted. But here there's a strong emphasis on this child being a gifted child. It's very clear, very obvious from the get-go to society that this child is gifted. Now, it seems to me like this is societies that run along certain myths. But I also have to suspend my own biases and just go with the intuition. This child is a gifted child, and all the signs of unusualness appear. It can be that somebody realized that this is a gifted child. It can be that there was a question of whether they are real or not. And this person does not go with the archaic rituals around even gifted or to spirit or whatnot. Because people try, okay. People try to treat that child in a fashion that is attributed to gifted children. And some of them some of them are not treating in that protocol. Okay, it came to the society as a gifted child to challenge the societal norms about gifted children. And it came with all the impromptus. What is impromptus in that context? Impromptu. Musical improvisation for a solo. Ooh. Impromptu is a musical. Let me not simultaneously translate that. An impromptu offhand is a free-form musical composition with the character of an extempore improvisation, as if prompted by the spirit of the moment. Spirit is a key word here, usually for solo instrument, such as piano. According to Allgemeine Musikalische Zeitung, John Baptist Kramer began publishing piano pieces under the subtitle of Impromptu in 1815, which seems to be the first recorded use of the term impromptu in this sense. Connected with the Romantic artistic theory, unpremeditated, spur-of-the-moment inspiration without studied care is at the heart of Romantic artistic theory. It did not take long before the first generation of Romantic composers to look up the idea. Frédéric Chopin, composed 4 impromptus, including the famous Fantaisie Impromptu. Jean-Vaclav Vorisek was the first one to compose impromptus. Franz Schubert, that won a place in a satire. Robert Schumann, Charles Valentin Alkan, Franz Liszt, Alexander Scriabin, Jean Sibelius. Okay, so this is one of the qualities of the child, but it pertains beyond music. And this child was brought into society. Let's say if it was Judaic society, this would be a bastard child born outside of the committed parents or the committed relation. Now, of course, it resonates with me, but it's probably resonating with more children. If this was Christian, could also be child outside marriage, or I don't know, in the Islamic tradition. But this would be a child that would be looked upon by any other criteria as something to kill even. If it's Chinese society, it could have been the second daughter. If it's society that was gifting the legacies only to men, it could have been a daughter. If it is something of bloodline, could have been a child that was born by a mix of a slave. Okay, if it's a class-based society, is something that is so much so that there was even a question in the society on whether to kill the child. What to do with that creature? Even people ascribe to it maybe demonic qualities. Now, but we also began with the word impromptu that belongs to the Romantic era of music, Romantic era in general. Could be Victorian, I don't know. This Romantic era, I think, was later. I don't remember. But this was child that, for Almighty's sake, was a shaman or two-spirit or gifted child or, whatever you name it, that child had qualities. Now here is the thing. The society was juxtaposed in such a difficult way because this child holds the most extreme polarities of traditional societies. Can be something with Saturn and Neptune. The Neptune Capricorns can carry that timestamp, a lot of these children, particularly around ascendant, midheaven, and so on. And this is why, because this child was the utmost expression of what would be even considered to kill. Or in the very best case, to enslave. But this child could not be enslaved. So much so that maybe even since the birth there were segments of society that were wondering if, according to tradition, they should kill the child. And juxtaposed to that, this child by the society was seen as so gifted that it coincided with the archetypes of those mythical children. I remember Krasiatasio mentioned that in Slavic society there was a child that lived and gave prophecies. I don't remember the name of the child, but this. Now here's the thing. I don't think that this child was all that special as we see it, not because they didn't have the qualities, but because so many children have these qualities. Or not, I don't know. Maybe I'm completely biased here. Okay, I guess I have Neptune, Saturn, so I guess the Saturn is kind of like the critical point. It's like, no, it cannot be that mythical. But to that society, it was so mythical. And the juxtaposition of whether it's bastard child or the second daughter in the family, or daughter in the family, or and these mythical qualities kept the society in existential paradox that sends ripples upon ripples upon ripples across all lifetimes, across all life, across all dimensions of that society. It can be many societies. And this was something that was completely, you see, the child could have been conscious that they're gifted in some way. And it would come and go like waves. That's Neptune. But there was something where and I can even see that the parent of this child tried to hide it from society. Not from nefarious meanings. It actually saved the child. First of all, it saved the life of the child. Because some segments of society would have killed him, or her, or them. Um, but the child's soul wanted to develop its qualities. And there was some that even wanted to tap into the qualities of the child and being seen as that, whether it's guru or gifted or whatnot, and whether they were gifted or not, they tried to tap into the qualities of that child and impersonate that. Because the society could not accept that this was the gifted child. Light had a channeling about that around somebody that got the gift of prophecy. But here's beyond prophecies, that impromptu thing. And it could be even running in the lineage or in the family, but going to exactly the places where society and lineage finds it most difficult to comprehend. And the reason behind that is, and I think Light explained it very well, such children and people are meant to reconcile parts of society that were not previously reconciled. This is Aries, Chiron Aries. To reconcile and include to reconcile part of societies that were not previously reconciled. And this is exactly what happens with this type of children, because it has to do with language as well, language acquisition. Very mercurial here. Uranus, I don't know. Mercury is in Jupiter's sign. Oh, there's something very casual about this child. If this child has prophecies, they could be, like writing an email in the bathroom and then, I'm sorry, wiping the ass clean and going out. Like, okay, and going about their day. Uh, I said it's something like you think about when Asian people, they have such perfect qualities of singing and technique and so on. If they could be doing the dishes and singing like the most famous artist and then going about their day, I think there was a trend of Asian shorts of Asian people singing. But this one is not the Asian where they perfect their technique. This one is this spark of life that's sudden. Now, there are many people that can be like that, especially when they have like intellectual conversations. But because there's something to do with spirituality here. You see, and this is why there are many gifted children, but because this child doesn't align, it holds the juxtaposition. And I think a lot of the Neptune Capricorns will have this story in their timelines. They hold exactly the position of someone that people might even question, should we even keep this person alive? And the gifts that people idealize so much in society to a mythical, and they just, for them is to just go about the day. Now this stirs up waves of particles in society. Waves? What is particle storm? Light in society, but waves of particles is light, but particle storm. Solar phenomenon? Solar particle event. Do we have a solar particle event? Okay, solar particle event 2025. Maybe the child was born around solar particle. There are many solar particle events. A solar flare. Basically bursts of high energy from the sun, so much so that they leave the sun. It's a gravity phenomena. It's something that takes up such, in thermodynamics, okay, it takes up such velocity that it leaves the center of the universe. Interesting. November 4. Now it's November 7. And on June 17 we will have. We had one in November 4. I'm sorry, it's called coronal mass ejaculation and caused radio blackouts. It's Scorpio season. So, physics. Hardly any teacher is more sexually harassed than a physics teacher, man or woman, in high school. Um, Now, here's the thing, that this child or this person, they were sending sparks across society by just being. And it would be unconscious to them because they were, you know, they were kind of like in their lane. I don't know, you know, not really aware the effect of they have, or what they would have on society. But they would send ripples. Okay, think about the people that are standing on the shore versus the people that are within the ocean or in the middle of the ocean. People standing on the shore, they will be having tsunami alerts. People in the middle of the ocean might even have still water. So that person is like in still water. When they have a storm, it's invisible to society, but the society that is on the shore, they sometimes have tsunami alerts that that person is unaware of. Now, the more they try to tap into that person's energy, the more they began to not impersonate, to be present and express those qualities. And the more resistance that they met, the way to deal with that resistance, to ground themselves, was exactly what they tried to make them not hold on to. Okay, for me, for example, it's with astrology. Oh, what happens? Somebody is trying to curse my ability to um, make a living or broadcast. What? Let me just take a look at the chart. Now, this was noticeable in so many segments of society or societies that that person um, is kind of unaware. And because there's something about this Neptunian quality that whether something is real or unreal or it's kind of like dissociative. Now, Neptune Capricorns, those are Neptunes that suddenly it's like a message in a bottle, and the bottle lands by tsunami on the next to the top of the mountain where some invisible secret society that runs the world is, and then the head of that secret society opens the message. This is the quality of this type of people, of entire Neptune and Capricorn generation that are now having our Neptune square. Now here's the thing. These people, these children, whether Neptune, Capricorn or not, they're completely unaware of the messages that even maybe important people would get about a child is born to a this, to a that, and people are like, is this the child? Is this not the child? And what should we do with the child? And it would be a couple of messages, because when it would come to, it could be someone who is born as both the Christ and the Antichrist to some society, because this is the most easy way to deliver this message to like the Western world, because they talk about Christ and Antichrist. So it's like somebody would receive, yes, the Antichrist will be born in ta 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 ta, ta, and then the Christ will be born, second coming of Christ, ta 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 ta. It's like it leads to the same person. So, and it's going to create a situation where it's like, think about having two teams. One team is looking for that gifted child that was born and so and so and so and so and so is maybe the second coming of Christ, and they will have a this omen, that omen, that omen, that omen. And another team was sent to kill the Antichrist. Okay? And the Antichrist, they will have a this and so and so and so and so and so and so. And both teams meet each other looking for the same person with different omens, or maybe even same omens. And that person could have been secular, atheist, like something completely not. If they do chaos magic, they do it in a different way than those that did chaos magic do chaos magic. If they look at the religion, they look at it in a different way. If they look at atheism, they see atheism in a different. They are like something that doesn't fit into any box. Could be a person with a lot of retrograde planets as well, because retrograde have this unusual factor to them. Saturn retrograde would give us a person who is unusually orthodox, dogmatic, and or their own manifestation of Saturn is unusual. Okay, Neptune retrograde would give us an unexpected prophet. And this could be a person that even in their language, the word prophet, prophecy is something that. Now, to the society next to them, it would spark it would lighten the nervous system around very traditional mythical notions. Now, this could spark up even comments where they might think this person is pretending. But here's the thing, this person is not even aware of that notion to even be pretending. And once they get that, they completely collapse. And then some of these people think, oh, this person is ignorant of their qualities. And then the person demonstrates qualities, ability to stand for themselves or to defend themselves, or maybe to draw assistance, whether from angelic realm, from people realm, or whatnot, that to that person is completely, but to the people that know these traditions, they are, it reminds me of the story about a guy that solves a mathematic problem of decades or centuries, I don't know. And the thing is that he was told that he thought that this was homework. So he did homework. Now, there could even be a situation where many people wanted to um, have this person as their person. It's kind of like if they were Jews, they wanted this person to be Jewish, so it would be their prophet. If they were Christians, they wanted the person to be Christian, so it would be their prophet. And at the same time, some wanted to silence their prophecies. And even for that person, it can be that they were really in this non-attachment to pretty much everything. And that, yeah, I remember when I did my channel in experiment, I had a friend that said, "You are such a pure channel, such a pure vessel." I'm like, okay. I see something, I don't know what it means. I say, but it's just like, oh my God, it's such clear message. I'm like, okay, fine. And she said, you need to be a spiritual teacher. And I'm like, okay, I'll broadcast some stuff. And so, um, but to those societies, this person is completely like having mythical qualities, so much so that they think that they are pretending to be a prophet. They cannot be a real prophet, but lo and behold, they're kind of accurate. And um, and here's the thing: they might not take themselves like that seriously, or they sense that something that they say sometimes they would have like something that's actually predictive. And what I get about this situation is that how should I say it? Those type of people, or this person, is um, once again reforming the social standards of the society. The social standards of the society. Three, three, three. What is three, three, three? Angel number. Growth, creativity, and spiritual guidance. AI. Call of creativity. Best spiritual guide. Okay. It's unclear. How stuff works. What is it trying to tell me? Balance, harmony in relationships. A call to creativity. Embrace creative projects and trust in guidance from higher realms. Financial abundance, encouragement in career, harmony in relationships. Meaning behind. Optimism, joy, inspiration. Moving past self-doubt. I take it personally. Ascended masters are along for the ride and are helping and supporting you as you move through or gain confidence around the creative project. Open communication, emotional depth, mutual understanding, honesty and trust, you're on the right path and should trust your talents and abilities. Encourages you to stay positive and embrace creative approaches to managing your money. Needed. Long-term stability and being open to strategic risks can lead to long-term stability and success. Divine support for couples. Thumbs up. Lean into creative project. 3 is connected to Jupiter. Expansion, optimism, and abundance. Ooh, okay. So for this person, they sparked such polarity of reactions that certain people try to how should I say it, make fun of this person or whatnot. But here's the thing, they to begin with don't take themselves all that seriously. So this could be the type of person who's like neurodivergent, like somebody would try to embarrass them or whatnot, and they don't even get it. And then people think they're stupid. And then something happens. And this it can be something that they don't get something, and it's like until they get something, and then they would talk about the things that absolutely nobody mentions. And they will have this, they can even have like something to do with Mercury Scorpio. Because Mercury Scorpio can be like this person that goes into the depth of the well and then says something, it stirs up the entire world, and they're like, what do people want? Um, but for them, they would like, people think they're stupid, and then they would get the thing that they most wanted to hide from the person. All the previous layers, they would, it reminds me when I was in school, there were mathematical problems, and I had levels of difficulty. The 1, 2 stars I could never solve. Only 3 stars and above. Only complex problems. I don't know why. It was in school, like not academic or so. But it can be something like this person would get. Okay. It's like you have a conversation with this person and you try to swindle them, and it looks like they're swindled and they're swayed and this and that, and then they don't get the level of the superficial levels of which you try to fool them. They get the levels in which you yourself did not even understand where you are even fooling yourself, and then they respond to that. And this is a quality that exposes things from the core. Their weird stupidity juxtaposed with ability to solve sometimes the most complex problems of the universe. Okay? Haphazardly. um, uh, these juxtapositions do not diminish from the challenge to deal with that type of person. Now, there are people that cannot see the shine and the confidence of this person. because it evokes mythical appreciation, mockery, trying to diminish that person, to say, because people with themselves are like, no, it cannot be that this person is real. But it invokes such depth of range and depth of responses within the viewers that they themselves have to hold, don't know how to process the energy of that person. This person is like a Moldavite. I don't currently have a Moldavite. I definitely need to purchase one. What do I mean by that? This person is like a walking Moldavite. Moldavite is stone of Pluto, I think, associated with Orion. They're like a walking Moldavite because their effect on people, they may even relate or resonate with Moldavite. I know I every once in a while need to buy a Moldavite. So personal growth, energy. Moldavite is considered kind of like the holy grail stone. Big transformation, complete, total changes, and normally people would be attracted to Moldavite before they have major transition and change in their lives. And this facilitates that. Stone of transformation. Tektite. Now, why do I say this person is like a Moldavite? Because Moldavite tends to spark reactions of people. Also, talisman of Medusa Gorgon tends to do that. But here is not around the themes of Medusa only. They can be, but it's not about that. This person is like a walking Moldavite. Let's see if I get the planetary signification. Okay, and Moldavite, it exposes, it transforms the shadow within everyone. This person is like a walking Moldavite, whether they wear a Moldavite or not. And it could be really associated, really aligned with Moldavite energy. Holy Grail stone. People that even cannot feel crystals, they usually have a Moldavite flush. When they hold it, increases with Herkimer diamond. Planets, all the planets. Is, one could even say, astrology. I'm not saying it's a stone of astrology, because it's coming from space, okay? It's an infusion of a meteorite from Chesky. I know I need to just be around the Moldavite. When I get the Moldavite need, it's evident that I should buy a Moldavite. My mother would hate me because I would need to ask her again for 200 shekels and return to it next month. And what do I spend it on? She would hate me even more because it's a stone of transformation. I did that to her with a ring last month I bought a silver ring, and then it got missing, and I asked 200, and I bought a bracelet with opal. Then the cat found the ring, and my mother found the cat that found the ring, and then I had both the ring and the bracelet, and she got her 200 back with extra, but now it's time to buy Moldavite. Yes, but this person is like a walking Moldavite, whether they wear Moldavite or not, because they spark all the shadows and demons within people to transmute, and this is a person that needs to wear Moldavite. Snowflake obsidian, malachite, those crystals, kyanite, 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 kyanite. This person without kyanite is like a ship without sails. The ship will not drown, but all the people on it will. Okay. Those that try now, there's something like a babushka with crystals in that person. Those that try that to, they may have Saturn thingy. Those that try to take away the crystals or have this person without the crystals. Maybe they thought that the crystals give this person power. No, 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 no. It's like magnet. Okay? This person is like a talisman. Every person is like a talisman, okay? It's like a magnet. If that person, and I need to go to walk to look for rocks. So I'm going to get dressed and do that. If that person is not with the rocks that they need to be with, the rocks are like, there's allopathic medicine and there is the other name. Okay? The rocks are balancing that person from being even more terrible on their environment. Why am I saying terrible? Not because they're terrible, but because this is a walking, the range of the frequencies this person contains is like a volcanic rock. They have the energy of a volcanic rock within themselves. Why? Volcanic rock. Saturn in Scorpio? Volcanic rock. I don't know. There's the energy of the volcanic rock within themselves, that when they meet that rock in the outside, then they balance. And the outside tries to say, no, they don't. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And here's the thing, there is something non-linear, chaotic non-linear about the patterns. They will need to be with that type of rock, and then with that type of rock for part-time, and then either that go missing, then again, and it's non-linear, it's chaotic. But this is the pattern. Because otherwise, people around them will suffer a lot. With that, they still With that, it balances them. Now, people thought that the rocks give this person the power. No. The rocks are like magnetized to the person by the quality of their own volcanic rock within. They have composition internally. No. They have like an energy of volcanic rock. And they magnet those rocks and crystals. It's immediate. It's like this could also be a person that they go out and about and they find a rock. Very intuitive. Now, it's the range of their magnitude. Earthquake, magnitude, magnituda. The range of their magnitude. That's the thing. I don't know why. And they need to be with that rock. Now, if it's a moment where they are not with the rock when they need to be with the rock, there is almost electric current, not electric current, magnetic current, electromagnetic touch. No, electromagnetic current. And they can even be that people try to disintegrate, dismember them from the rock, but it created magnituda. Something around the magnetic field. Magnitude has to do with earthquake. Now people try to, okay, this could be a person where people try to say, humble yourself, or try to mute the energy. Doesn't work. It's explosive. They have to be with that rock, they have to be with that rock. It's immediacy. It's not urgency. It's magnetic. Now it scares people, even some people that are having crystal shops or something like that are afraid of them when when they are with that energy. Because it's so powerful. And when they tell them to ground, they see the wars. And they ground into soil. But when they ground into soil, it's like a meteorite hitting that soil. They cleanse the astral. They cleanse the astral is what I'm hearing. And this is why they try to separate them from that rock. Something scary happens when they're around the rock, but if they try to separate, even scarier things happen. They themselves like a meteorite. Now, volcanic rock is something from within the earth, and meteorite from outside. So it's a combination. Maybe this person is hybrid. Like, I don't know. Um, if they're hybrid, they would be this person. Like, I have Neptune, Saturn. I was born in natural birth, and my moon is with Sirius, which is the bigger sun, who is Orion belt. So it's kind of like the most earthly birth and the most outer-worldly presence. So it's a part of their own juxtapositions. But there is something hybrid around them. It can be biracial or hybrid. And it's to the core of their essence. Now here I said a lot of things. Well, I will not. I will not diminish myself. I have the tendency to still to go and say, "Oh well, but all people are gifted. All people are hybrid." Like, no, this something that shows me special about this particular person. I don't know why. Storm, element, storm, and earth. Ooh, the sky and the land. They came to balance the sky and the land. The extraterrestrial and the earthly. The human and the transhuman. Storm is a balancing of all the elements. And they came to the earth at the time of a storm. More about this